Hello everyone, welcome to Secrets. I'm calling this video how to get back on track. It happens to all of us that we're involved in a situation. Could be work, could be a relationship, and tell me if I'm wrong, as we move along, could be months, days, years after, things aren't the way they used to be. We seem to have gone off track. You know, I used to be a pilot flying airplanes commercially. And something very interesting about how the navigation of an aircraft operates. You know, if you have a destination, and let's say the heading, meaning the direction of the airplane, is 90 degrees. 90 degrees is due east, okay? So due east, 90 degrees. But let's say you're doing 91 degrees. Now, if you're going, a couple of miles in the airplane, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But imagine for a second, 1 degree over 3,000 miles. Where do you end up? So navigation is a constant process of correcting your direction or your heading, as they call it in aeronautics, constantly correcting your heading, constantly correcting your direction, because there's always something that's going to throw you off. There's the wind, there's the actual direction that the airplane is heading in, may not be 100%, but the destination is always going to pull you towards your course. So if you're a little off, to the right, it'll pull, you'll correct back to the left and vice versa. And that's how you navigate. That's how you get to the place where you want to go. Of course, you have to have a destination. And so when we're in a scenario, again, a life scenario, be it a career, be it a relationship, be it our health even, so it's always a question of the same, correcting our course. Now, that can mean different things depending on the situation. So I want to set the stage energetically, because what does it really mean energetically? Well, we know that everything in life contains a set of steps. So we know there are 10 dimensions or 10 levels in every process. And generally along the line, we kind of get messed up somewhere in the process. In other words, if there are 10 steps between planting a seed of an apple tree and the actual fruit coming out of the tree, something can happen along the way. Maybe there's going to be a wind. Maybe there's not going to be enough water, especially when it's young. One of the steps can be off, can be messed up, and that will affect the final outcome. Or it's not going to come out at all, or it's going to come out skewed. It's going to come out not to its best final scenario. Again, steps need to be taken along the way in the process to get back to where it should be. Now, where any scenario in life should be is up to us to decide. There's no rule for where it should be, but generally speaking, the beginning of what we wanted to begin with is the baseline. Okay? If you got into a relationship, so you wanted to be happy, You wanted to maybe have family, you wanted to maybe have companionship and whatever you wanted from that relationship. You wanted to have communication, or you just love this person, right? And maybe you didn't have a particular end game, which is kind of okay, but things get off track. And especially if you don't have a particular end game of what you want, then you don't know if what you're doing is actually giving you what you wanted, because you didn't really have a goal to begin with. It's hard to know if you're getting what you want if you didn't know what you want to begin with, if you don't have a goal in mind. And that goes for work, business, it goes for anything. It goes for our health as well. If you don't have a goal to be a healthy person, then also it's difficult to understand better the steps of how to get there. So you don't even know if the steps in between where you are now and where you would like to get are off track. You don't know. How can you get to where you're going if you don't have a destination? If you want to be a healthy person, as an example, so there are certain things that I may have to do. Maybe I need to eat right, or more right for me, whatever that means. Maybe I need to do some exercise. Again, everyone is an individual and we all need different things, but still there are certain principles that do generally work. Like exercise is generally, I can't say it's good for every single person, but generally it's a good idea. Eating properly, staying away from bad food, whatever that means to you, is probably a good idea. Again, you can't say there's a steadfast rule for every single person, but suffice to say that there are certain basics that probably apply to everybody. There are certain rules of relationships that probably apply to everybody. That's probably another discussion. But the bottom line is we do go off track, and you know when you're off track. How do you know? Things aren't working out, right? Things aren't working out the way you thought they would, the way you thought they should. It's not what you intended. Well, number one question, what is it that you intended? Number two, and very important, is going back to the seed. Now we call that the keter, going back to the keter. Now let me explain that. And I've spoken about this in other videos, but here's how to apply it in this scenario. So when we go off track, again, if I'm in my airplane and I understand, oh my God, I'm off track, what do I need to do? I need to reprogram my GPS or whatever the navigation system is in an aircraft, but we all understand the GPS. Somehow it got off. I need to reprogram myself to my original destination. Now, the destination can change, no problem about it, but you need to know that the destination is different, okay? You must know that, because you can't change a destination midstream and keep the original programming there. So if you change your destination, fine, you need to know about it, and you need to reprogram. You need to reinstall. I need to put it in my head. Okay, wait a second. The goal isn't that. Now it's this. No problem, just so long as you know what the goal is. So knowing the goal, number one, that's important. Knowing the goal of what you're doing, where you're going, important. Number two, when you find yourself off track, what do you need to do? Reprogram. Reinstall the original destination, whatever it was. So when you find yourself off, and again, everyone can find what works for you. But go back to your original desire. Again, as I said, there are 10 steps in any given process. I won't get into them, but there are steps. When we go off track in the steps, it means we begin to waste energy, we begin to wonder why, we begin to ask questions, we begin to doubt, we begin to have issues that we didn't have before. Of course, life changes, situation changes, no problem. But you still need the original destination to guide you. We all need that. And to check ourselves, am I still headed in that direction? Am I still going in the direction of what I wanted? What did I want? What was the original intention? What was the goal? To have a loving, caring relationship? Well, we had that in the beginning. Is it the same? If not, try and go back to your keter. Go back to your seed level. What does that mean? Practically, it's not difficult. Go back to your original desire. Use tools. Again, look at your wedding pictures. Look at pictures from the beginning of your relationship. Connect with the original feeling. Go back to your original intention of why you started on this job. Again, it can change. But if it hasn't changed and things are different and you don't like what's going on, why did you start working at that place to begin with? Now, nothing says you can't change the scenario, right? Maybe you want to change jobs, but you need to be clear about what it is you want to do. If you have a new goal, great, absolutely, amazing. But then that needs to be clear and you need to agree on your new destination. Now head for that. So again, number one, you need to know where your destination is. Number two, if you're stuck and you think you begin to go off track, make every effort to go back to the keter. Connect with your original desire. By pictures, by consciousness, by going back, thinking, meditation. What did I want to begin with? What was my original desire? If you started to work out and you find all of a sudden you're not working out and you're eating junk food, what was your original desire? You decided you wanted to be a healthier lifestyle. Great. Are you still doing those things to achieve it? If not, go back to the original feeling. Did you feel better when you were doing that? Try to connect to it. That's number two. Reconnect with the seed of your desires. Use tools if necessary, if it's pictures, if it's consciousness, if it's meditation. Number three, realize if you have a desire to change. If things have changed along the way, crystallize them in your mind. You need to be cognizant. You need to be aware. No problem to change the destination, but you need to have conscious awareness that I have changed my destination and it's not that, now it's this. And I need to be aware of that. Be blessed, guys. That's what I have for you. And remember always, where your head is at, that's where you're at. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you on the next video. All the best.